heads up to the 5-minute quickie. This 5-minute quickie, it's all about, it says forgetting what you know and then knowing how much you don't know and all that stuff, but this is all about learning and enhancing your learning. And there's a real brilliant tip that I got from a particular guy, and I've shared it with you, and it's awesome to allow you to learn newly and also then create massive, wonderful, intuitive ideas to get you really bubbling. Do have a listen. I'm sure you'll find it really interesting.
Warning.
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 Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
Hey, welcome back to the 5-minute quickie. Let's see how long this one takes. But here's the thing. Good old Albert Einstein said, in simplicity, there's genius. And that's where I think we want to keep our focus. But we don't want to forget it, because this is all about forgetting to not forget and forgetting what you know. Because someone also said, and I've got no idea who said this, and it's also a great hypnotic line, is, you don't know how much you don't know. So why do you think you know how much you don't know and how much you do know? What's it all about, Cluffy? I'll tell you. See, I'm not trying at all. I'm encouraging you to learn more, because the world is full of wonderful things. And the more you know you don't know, which means, it can be on the negative side. Well, I'll never learn enough, never learn it all. And that's right, you'll never learn it all, which is the beautiful bonus of learning, because you will never not have stuff to learn. There's always something to learn. Awesome. But the thing is, we do have problems sometimes, I guess. I know I do. I will listen to stuff and I just start comparing. I start comparing what I'm listening to what I know and deciding whether it's right or wrong. I've got all this new stuff coming into me and I'm going, no, that's not right because of, and you see, we've talked about biases before, and that's my bias. And I'm trying to let go of that. Now, how do you let go of that? Because if we don't let go of it, we will never see things newly. And that's the whole point. Seeing things newly, then after we've seen them newly and we've got the facts, we've got the data, we've got an understanding, then we compare with what we know and then decide. Maybe they reinforce what we know. I have some great things that I had a little thought this morning. I was reading a book just the other day, and it's a book I've had for years, but I've never really got into. And I began to read it, just bits of it. And I thought, wow, I know this already. And this has been written by someone who's really good. And I know this stuff. Now, where did I get it from? I don't think I got it from them, but I got it from somebody, or it went in and came out. And maybe that's good, because I don't know whether it's right or wrong, but I just knew it. So something I had learned, and I'd forgotten about it to some extent. So I wasn't looking to see whether it was right or wrong. It's just, that just reinforces what I'm doing, I guess. So here's the thing. It doesn't mean forgetting either, because if you're going to put things aside, we need to do that. Literally, put them aside. Love the expression, let's just park it for a moment. I always have a memory came back to a guy who actually used to do this. He would write the thing that we were talking about and say, let's park it, write it on a big piece of paper, and literally park that piece of paper on the wall. Some old blue tack and things like that. And he said, there, we're not going to forget it now, but we can forget it because we know we're going to come back to it. And that's what I want you to do. And that's what really I want me to do, because I know there's a benefit of putting things aside and learning. And I want to continue learning. I've been writing about that this morning in my little journal, how much I want to learn. So the thing is, I want you to forget what you know, because the thing about it is you can never forget it anyway. It's always there. It's always there inside. How many times do you come up with something that you'd forgotten or thought you'd forgotten about because you hadn't thought about it for a long time, and suddenly, you come up with an answer. So it's always there. And being always there, you can now rely upon it. You can be totally confident. That's what slipped out of my mind. Nearly forgot that one. But you can be totally confident that whatever you know will always be there. There's just a way to recall it. That's all we need to do. So knowing that, and knowing that you're going to recall it, you can safely and confidently park it, put it on that metaphorical wall, and have this, and there is a saying for it, and I can't remember, and I think we've talked about it once before, a long time ago. See things newly. Learn things newly. As if you don't know anything about this subject. The subject you're reading, the subject you're hearing, and just let it come in. And you see, when you do that, there's some massive benefits. And those massive benefits can either be really massive, because that's what a massive benefit is, I guess, but they can be subtle. So subtle that they begin to enhance your life, that personal development, that career, your relationships. You just fill in the blank. But because you've parked what you know, you've allowed this other information to come in newly, and you've been then able to compare, but you've allowed this stuff to come in newly, and it's there for you right in plain sight. It's no longer hiding in plain sight, and we've talked about that before, with our passions. But how do you do that? Well, I think what we need to do is some very, very basic things. Started off in simplicity, there's genius. And in simplicity, we just have to ask the right questions. I believe we ask the right questions of our unconscious mind, we'll get the answers. And that's how you get that recall, by asking the right questions. And in fact, your unconscious mind will go, now we've got that, let's look at them all together. But you see, one of the questions could be, when you're listening to something, hearing something, reading, watching, just ask yourself, what can I learn? What can I learn here that will support my growth? Fill me in information. Or you could say, fill my growth in my career, my personal development, my spiritual life, my relationship. You fill in the blank again, because you know the subject matter. So you then get your unconscious mind to begin to focus and look for those things. I know a lot of people just in reading will do that, and they begin to pick out the things that maybe they would have scanned over. Once you've asked your question, which is like sort of setting your intention, but you can just reinforce that. I want to learn and be open to learning. So now what we want to do, we want to learn, and this is the subject matter I want to learn, because we'll always come back over it and learn and try to look and seek for other things within that. Because if you've never noticed, I know when I read a book, I get my thoughts, my learnings from it, and then I'll go back and read it again and go, well, where did that paragraph come from? There's something completely new. It can be the same when I'm listening and watching a webinar with somebody teaching, and I'm going, well, I know all of this stuff. Ooh, where did that come from? So I've taken my bias out a little bit. I've been open, but also by letting things be parked, I've been able to see new stuff. And also because I'm in probably a better state, a better place, because now I've got part of my confusion out the way by learning the foundations of what that subject matter is. I'm now able to then concentrate and look for something newly. And the third thing, I guess I've already just mentioned it, you need to set your state. You set your state. So what would be the best state to be in, to learn what you want to learn? So it could be, I'm guessing, curiosity. It could be openness. It could be awareness. It could be, well, you tell me. All you have to do is go back to times when you were learning your best, taking things in easily, effortlessly, and understand what that state it was, and maybe reapply it. How do we do those? We've already talked about this before on, I think it's either 5 Minute the Quickies. I think it's probably the longer podcast. I'm not sure, but certainly they're called the 86 and 87. And I know if you go to your hypnosis tracks, the hypnosis track hashtag 86.1 is all about setting your state, and hashtag 87.1 is all about setting your intention with hypnosis, getting directly to your main man, your main woman inside, your best friend. So you can do all of that. How do you find them? Well, you can find them right now in the next 90 seconds. Here we go. Boom. So, the 90 seconds of hypnosis tracks. Why have I put hypnosis tracks on a separate website? Well, it's so simple, really. I wanted you to have them all in one place, so you can look through them all. You can find the particular one you want. I've even made them downloadable, so you can put them on any of your playing devices that you prefer. You don't need Wi-Fi, you don't need the iTunes or whatever. You can put them anywhere you like. You can even burn them onto disk if you want. Where do you get them? Well, there you go. I told you, it's paulcloughonline.com/podcast. If you're worried about your email address, please don't be, because they stay totally safe with me. I only use them to send you out that email and give you access. Simple as that. I send you a link, a special link, so you and only you can access those hypnosis tracks, because I want them just for you. And the other thing about this is you've taken responsibility. I don't want to make these open to everyone, just random. You have taken responsibility to listen and be part of this community of personal development. And I want to help you. I want to help you personally to get your dreams, your goals. And therefore, I'm giving you these tools, these protocols, these paradigms, whatever you want to call them, but in deep hypnosis. So just enjoy. Have more fun than you can stand with hypnosis. There you go. That was 90 seconds. And now you know how to get all the hypnosis tracks you'll ever, well, not what ever need, but there's loads there. But there's also one other thing I want to share with you. And it's something I didn't know. And I learnt from a tiny little thing from a guy called Jim Quick. So Quick spelt Kwik. Does great podcasts. He's got a great learning website about reading and retaining and using your memory. Awesome guy. He really is an awesome guy. So if you can, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube as well. So just search Jim Quick and you'll get some really good information. But one of the things he said was, when you're reading, or basically, and he was talking about reading at that time, but I guess you could use the same principle on anything. He says, have your notebook. You got to make notes, because I'm not thinking, well, that's so obvious. But how many times do we do the bleeding obvious? Absolutely, very rarely. But he said, get your notebook. But this is the thing. Draw a line down the middle. So you've got the left and the right side of that page. He said, on the left-hand side of the page, write down the facts that you're learning, the things you want to do. So you can bullet point them, you can mind map them, you can do whatever way you choose, but write them down. Things you maybe want to, that have come across. But he said on the right-hand side, and the metaphor is it's the right-hand side, which is your right-hand side of your brain, which is that creative side. He said, now ask questions of the facts. Maybe things you want to know more of. Maybe there's some ideas you could take from those learnings, or maybe you want to just share or do something, actions, ideas. And I thought that's awesome. And it is so simple. And I'm blessed in listening to that and going, in simplicity, there's bloody genius, because it's so simple. And to me, it is genius, because now I love journaling. You know that, but also it gives you, if we've set our state and intention, we're going to get the best notes we can get. And then we're going to start using our real curiosity, our intuitions to come up with stimulating thoughts, which are going to create actions and goals and things like that. So we're not just reading for the sake of reading or learning for the sake of learning. We're actually going to do stuff with it. But especially when we make those notes, we then compare it. So off the metaphorical wall comes our things that we've learned before, the things we've parked, put them together so we get a real richness of learning, real richness of understanding, a real richness of richness, because we've got to get so rich. And then we're going to have a whole plethora of ideas, action points, things, how to use this information. And to me, that is bloody awesome. Absolutely awesome. And it's all about forgetting what you know to know more, and then to know that you'll never know how much you don't know. Well, you do know how much you'll never know, because it's endless and the potential for you is limitless. So awesome. So forget what you know, park it, and then learn. But real big thanks to that Jim Quick, because tiny little, again, another sidebar bit of information, but it was I think so powerful. You could do that for anything. If you're taking notes in a meeting, take your notes, then you got your action points. Boom. You can use this for any situation. Think of your goals, boom, boom, boom. And there's a little part on that page for you to throw your ideas at, come back to. Incredible. I think it's incredible. And it is so simple. So bless good old Albie Einstein and bless Jim Quick. And I do recommend, if you can get hold of, and you can quite easily, see anything from Jim Quick. He really is, he comes across as such a nice man. And the things that he's sharing is really good. And that's the whole point about this. His sharing it. This is what I've talked about before in the integrated field of learning. I've found something from him. I've added to what I know. It created new stuff in my mind that I'm now sharing with you. I'd love to share it back with Jim Quick, but that's not going to happen. But I've now shared it with you, and you can take it. You can share it back with me, via that feedback at personaldevelopmentunplugged.com. That's the email address. Just send me your thoughts on that. And we've got this dialogue of exchanging of ideas, information, learnings, outcomes, which will then, I know they'll new things will be born from that. That'd be great. So I'm not going to go on about sharing this podcast and everything else, because I'm going to do a little bit at the end just to allow you to listen to it in a different way. Okay? So it'll also say, you haven't heard this before, but you have. But it doesn't matter. Listen to it again, please. And until next time, I'll speak to you real soon. Bye-bye now. Oh, enjoy every heartbeat. And again, wonder when your unconscious mind is going to surprise you to have you feeling happiness for no reason. Bye-bye. Just before you go, if you've just got a second or two, please have a listen. Why don't you share this? Share this podcast with just one person today, and then one person tomorrow, and one person after that. What would happen if we all did that? And why not subscribe? It's so easy to do. Find the platform of your choice. If it's iTunes or it's Castbox or any others, there's loads of them. Search for either Paul Clough or Personal Development Unplugged, and then there's a big subscribe button. Press that subscribe button, and it'll be there. You get the podcast twice a week, on a Wednesday and a Saturday. Never have to look any further. And if you would, why not put one of those reviews up? Because that would be awesome, because that just moves it around this integrated field of learning, as it were, and becomes and gets in front of other people. Which is what we want, isn't it? To be the change we want to see in others and help others change to be the change they want to see in themselves. There you go. I'm going to speak to you real soon. Hope you enjoyed it. Have fun. Enjoy every heartbeat.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.